The mercy of counting. They were told to count the shells, not to fire them, not to move them, just count. Every morning at first light, the guns would fall silent for exactly 3 minutes. During that time, each artillery crew was to inventory their ammunition and report the number. No mistakes, no estimates. Every shell accounted for. Corporal Vin thought it was a waste until the numbers started changing. 42, said Jarek, wiping mud from a shell casing. 42, Vin repeated, marking it down. They moved to the next crate. 38. 30. Vin paused. There were 39. He counted again. 39. You said 38. I always say 38, Jarek replied flatly. Vin frowned. What does that mean? Jarek didn't answer. He just moved to the next crate. By the end of the count, Vin's ledger read 42, 38, 51, 27. And the last entry, it had no number, just a long, dragging line carved into the page. What's this? Vin asked. Jarek looked at it. For a moment, something like fear crossed his face. Then it vanished. Well, that's where we stop. Stop what? Stop counting? The guns resumed before Vin could press any further. That night, Vin checked the shells again, alone. He brought a lantern and his ledger, and a knife, though he wasn't sure why. The trench was quiet, too quiet. Even the distant guns sounded distant, like they were happening somewhere else. He opened the first crate, counted carefully. 42, he whispered. Correct. Second crate. 39. Still wrong. The third. 51. Fourth. 27. Fifth. He stopped. There was no fifth crate, but his ledger said there should be. Vin raised the lantern higher. The trench, it extended further than it had during the day. A new section, rough, unfinished, as if it had been dug recently or grown. And at the end of it sat a single shell, not in a crate, not stacked, just resting upright in the mud. Vin approached slowly. Each step felt measured, expected. The shell was larger than the others. Its casing, it was smooth, unmarked, except for a number carved into its side. He leaned closer. It wasn't a number. It was a tally. Thousands of thin lines etched into the metal, grouped, organized, counted. His breath caught. They told you to count. The voice came from behind him. Vin turned. Jarek stood at the edge of the trench, or what passed for Jarek. His posture was wrong, too straight, too still. "You missed one," Jarek said. "There's no crate," Vin replied. "There is now." The trench shifted. Not visibly, but Vin, he felt it. A slight correction, as if reality had been adjusted to match the record. "You don't understand the mercy," Jarek continued. "Mercy?" "Yes." Jarek stepped closer. His boots made no sound. "As long as you count," he said, "it stays separate." Vin's eyes flicked into the shell, to the endless tallies carved into it. "What happens when I stop?" Jarek smiled, just slightly. "Well, you join the total." The lantern flickered. For a moment, just a moment, Vin saw beyond the trench. Not a battlefield, a vast darkness, filled with shapes, each one marked, each one counted, and each one waiting. The light steadied. The trench returned. Vin looked down at his ledger. At the final line, the unfinished entry. His hand trembled as he raised the pencil. What number is it?" he whispered. Jarek tilted his head. "Well, that depends," he said softly, "on whether you believe you're still the one counting." The shell shifted, not rolled, and it didn't move, but it turned, as if something inside of it became aware of him. The tallies on its surface began to change, lines scratching themselves deeper, faster and faster. Vin staggered back. That's not possible." "It is now," Jarek said. The trench walls tightened, closing the distance. Vin looked around wildly. The other shells, every crate, every stack, they all bore markings now. Tallies, some small, some vast, some still being written. He grabbed one at random, scraped at the surface with his knife. The metal peeled back easily, way too easy. Beneath it, flesh, warm and twitching. Vin dropped it with a scream. They're not ammunition," he gasped. Jarek's smile widened. "No, they're not." The guns in the distance fell silent. Too early, far too early. "You fire them," Jarek said, "because it's the only way to reduce the number." The gray shell at the end of the trench split slightly. Not open, just enough to reveal darkness inside. And it was moving. It was counting. Vin fell to his knees. I won't." "Oh, but you already have." Jarek knelt beside him. "Every shell you counted," he whispered, "was one you didn't question." The trench inhaled, deep, hungry. And now, he said, you finally see the total. The tally surged across every surface, every wall, every shell. They converged towards him. Vin tried to scream, but something pressed against his throat, and it pressed from inside. It was marking, measuring, adding. The next morning, the guns fired again, like nothing happened, right on schedule. The report came in clean, precise. The numbers read as follows: 42, 38, 51, 27, and the last line, 1. No discrepancies, no errors, and for the first time, the final number was complete.